Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Now, Deku and Marcy were both in Good Springs. Izuku had a bit of an idea after they found what remained from Chloe and Marcy's last known location, and that was a 10mm pistol and a part of her vault suit. Now, Deku was injured by a castor and shot 3 times. That led to him being out of commission while Marcy got the proper supplies to help him out from Doc Mitchell. Doc Mitchell was a very kind man. His wife was a vault dweller, and when she talked to the man, she asked a question about a place known as Gamora. He knew what Gamora was. He told her what it was, but gave her a warning about it. And this information was quite useful. Later, Deku and Marcy were able to head out to try and track down Chloe. And Izuku had a bit of a plan. Use some psycho and use his nose. I mean, it's a good idea. He's really good at doing that. I mean, out here, you have to kind of be a lot more aware of your surroundings. And he's pretty good at that. So, that off they went. He took some psycho and ran off. That, however, led to him fighting a Deathclaw with Marcy's help. She screamed at it, and Izuku, while he was trying to fight this creature one-on-one, trying to use his raw power against its, these things eventually led to Chloe running down the road while she was on her way back to Red Rock Canyon, seeing the two and being a lot more alarmed. And Izuku, he definitely suffered some damage. Both of his elbows were covered in scratches along with parts of his forearms. Along with that, there were slash marks on his chest and a chunk of his shoulder was bitten by the Deathclaw, along with the marks that do drag up Deku's back, from the middle of his back to the top part where his shoulders are. And Izuku, he ripped out a pretty good chunk of that Deathclaw's organs. Though right now, Chloe led them to the state park house nearby Red Rock Canyon. Told them to stay here because she's kind of got a lot to sort through with them all being here. And she learned about Tommy's death and that it did somewhat make her sad. However, right now, she's to set her emotions aside and try and handle everything here. And we do currently have Izuku. Izuku, he is asleep. Currently, him back in the Enclave lab. Right now, him going to somewhat fumble around, trying to fight against the restraints. And his eyes, they are being forced open. Right now, a man walking up before talking about a few things they do want to try. And Izuku, when he does hear a sound, he just want to jump up. Him currently turning and holding up his gun. Him with his left hand before he doesn't feel the pain shoot through his arm. It making him more alert. Before Marcy talks about it. Currently, her sitting up on the bed, turning. She didn't hear anything. She's been awake for a minute. What was that? Huh? No, nothing. I thought I heard something. Him going to lean back against the bed frame. Currently him expressing. He's fine. You sure? Yeah, I'm fine. Just a bad dream. A bad dream, that's all. It was just a dream. Okay. So, I haven't seen anything about Chloe. I haven't heard any sound, and, well, we're isolated. No one knows we're out here. Right. How are you, though? I'm fine. But what about you? I mean, you've hardly been sleeping. And just an observation, you're having night terrors. Are you sure you really don't want to get in the bed? I'm fine on the floor. Now that wouldn't be gentlemanly. Or, fuck, what's that word? Chi- Chivalrous? Yeah, I think that's it. But no, I'm being serious. You need more Stimpaks, medical attention. The healing salve won't do very much, especially if you can't sit still enough while you sleep for it to take effect. Has it been working? I'm fine, Marcy. Him standing up, for turning, and she does get to see that Deku, his body, it does look a lot better. They cleaned off the blood, and the spots, they do still look a little more tender, especially the chunk that Deku does still have on his shoulder. That spot, yeah, they bandaged it up, but it still is bleeding a little bit. Marcy, a little concerned, especially because if that death claw came close to hitting an artery, it could cause some major damage. I mean, maybe it did hit an artery, but it's the stim pack that closed it. He needs more before he's back to 100%. And this is going to cross her mind. Her trying to think if the cons might have more medical supplies, or if it's just those chems that they deal with. And this is something that doesn't worry her. As the two, they do get to head downstairs. Currently, Marcy, bring her hands up as she has to stretch her wings, which are currently folded on her back. Deku going to step out of the room as she does so. Him walking down the hallway and turning to the stairs, making his way down for turning and looking at the barricaded door. Him right now in the area that does talk a bit more about the state park before he does go to stand there. Bring up his Pip-Boy before he does a press record. Day 375. It's... We found her. we found Chloe. Yesterday it was a little... We were not so ambitious. As far as we're aware, the only one of us are there left would be John. Connor was KIA. Tommy was KIA. And Chloe and Marcy, along with me, we're all back together in perfect order. We still need to make a bit of a plan. Izuku walking over to a counter. Before he does, Griswold lean on it and put weight on his arms. Him somewhat going to feel the sting, talking about it. They need to find out where the Enclave facility is. So far, they have a lead on Gamora. And if he's right, then there will be people from the Enclave who might visit Gamora. He's not too sure where it is, but from what Marcy has told him and from what he heard, he can make his assumptions. But it's also on the strip. That's also another problem. They either need to find a way to break into the strip or pay 2,000 caps per person. And as far as he's aware, after their little ventures rolling around the Mojave and buying food, ammunition, and, well, a few other things, then they're down a few hundred caps. Right now they have a little over 3,000. Yeah, that's another issue. They're burning through money fast. It's not good. They need to be more active, either hunting or trying to fight. I mean, It's not good. They might have to. Never mind. It's an option, but he's thought about trying to take out some bounties. See if they're worthwhile any. I mean, he's heard some stuff, but he's not sure. Plus, I mean, maybe make a bit of a deal, barter with people, and see what he can find. The Silver Rush paid him some pretty good caps, but that was good on one person and trying to maintain a deficit. But for two, trying to be combat ready, along with the fact that their superior appetites are hefty, yeah, this isn't an operation they can maintain for very long. It's going to suck. Him going to flip his wrist before he does his own sit there. Him unbarricading the door and walking outside. Before Mercy, she does go to look at herself right now in the mirror. She's in the bathroom. I mean, she wanted to try and make herself look a little presentable, a little less dirty. I mean, she hasn't really been hurt, but it's another story. Her throat still feels a little torn from that fucking scream yesterday. And, well, her hearing a sound before her nose does get catch the whiff of blood it does smell. Her turning her head before she does get to feel her mouth fill with a little bit more saliva. And this does make her walk over to the window and look outside, as there currently is Deku, who he does stand there, with a dead bighorner right next to him and his hands covered in some blood. Before he's a turn, right now him going to turn, throwing his finger over to the bighorner. Before somewhat shouting, he's gonna make breakfast. And she does go to somewhat turn, her heading down to join Izuku. And we do have Chloe. She already talked to Papa Khan and a few other people. Try to get them all sorted and let them know about what could be beneficial about everything. I mean, she's talking about a guy and a gal who they've done some pretty crazy shit. I mean, her friend was a fighter in the Thorn, take on some pretty powerful people, pretty powerful creatures, doesn't take any shit. I mean, he's strong. There definitely is that. The Great Khans need plenty of strength to fucking fight the NCR. And then there's also what he did yesterday, which Papa Khan thought was a load of shit. Until someone came to him and they talked about a rotting deathclaw down the road, which was visibly attacked by another strong creature. And this is what intrigued Papa Khan. I mean, that's just the guy. But the girl Chloe tried to tiptoe a little bit more around. I mean, her friend is definitely a lot like the guy, but it's more complicated than that. She hasn't seen her in some time, and she's tried to keep things low like her. It's how they operated. It's how everything is, but she's fairly certain the NCR might have a bit of a bounty on her head. And that was enough to get Papa Khan intrigued. Though right now, that might take a little bit more time and a little bit more digging. Though with the fact that these are all vault dwellers, it does also have him a little bit more curious as to where exactly their home might be. Now, there is Chloe, who currently she is making her way back over to the state park house. Her with some other clothes for the two. As some other cons, they do stand guard at Red Rock Canyon. Now, I want to swallow my tongue there. We do have Deku and Mercy, who they do somewhat sit here eating a little feast of bighorner flesh, them cooking the meat, while they do have a little bit more of a conversation. The two currently arguing over what's better. Marcy trying to tell Izuku he can't be serious. Really? He likes Tennessee better? Oh, come on, really? You're saying that Tennessee barbecue's bad? I mean, compared to this, it's fucking amazing. I mean, besides, it's better than your Kansas City barbecue. Okay, you can't talk. Everything you eat so dry you have to put a sauce with it. Yeah, and you cover everything in tomato sauce. I mean, come on. You seriously can't say those barbecues back in the vault weren't amazing. Besides, pretty sure a lot of people like Tennessee. Okay, sure you do. Maybe you did, but not everything needs to be so dry you could probably chew it off of a tire. Oh, really? Really? So everything just needs to be slathered in tomato sauce? I mean, come on, come on. You guys use a bunch of shit like that, and then you put shit in the sauce, not on the meat. I mean, shit. You might as well just have a fucking pulled sandwich. Okay, fair, but you guys probably overcook your shit. That's why they probably had to put a sauce with it. Fuck you. Come on, it's better than this shit we're having right now. Izuku going to gnaw into a bit of a steak. Her talking about it. She can agree with him on that, but there were a lot of things in the vault that were still better. I mean, come on. Can they both agree that the coleslaw was good? Oh my god. The coleslaw? No, not even that. Not just the coleslaw. The pulled pork. The fucking. What are they called? Pork belly. That's it. Oh my god, the pork belly. Oh my god. If we ever see a pig, you know what I'm making? You know what I'm making? That does sound pretty good. Chloe going to uncamouflage, expressing, yeah, it does seem pretty good. The two both turning. Right of them going to bring up their guns and aim at her. Marcy, somewhat, letting out a bit of a scream. Before there is where Chloe does going to talk about it. Okay, so while they're both arguing over food, her stepping forwards, currently going to use a knife and stab it down into a steak, pulling it up and talking about it. She's going to go ahead and leave them some clothes. I mean, she got them some outfits that should help them blend in a little. Though, she's already kind of made the modifications to them. Seriously? Yeah. I mean, they're not that bad. I mean, look at me. Her, so giving a bit of a spin. Deku looking and seeing her tail. Before it does a come back up and back into her belt loop on her jeans. Talking about it. Okay, fine. There can be some problems with it, but they're not that bad. Okay, so what do you got for us? Her currently going to turn to her bag, talking about it, pulling out some clothes for Deku, along with some boots before turning and going to set some stuff out for Marcy. And Marcy does get a stare down. Before she has to watch Chloe pull out some shorts for her, before pulling out some boots. And she does get a stare down at that. You seriously want me to wear these? Oh, come on, you'll look good. I mean, besides, look at me. Her standing, talking about it. Come on, everyone's wearing them. Besides, is she really gonna complain about some proper clothing? I wouldn't call this proper. You're wearing a dirty vault suit. You can hardly argue. Besides, they are clean. Marcy turning, before she to grab the clothes and stand, begrudgingly walking back over to the house. And Izuku, he already went to go slide on this vest, standing up and talking about it. It doesn't look too bad. Doesn't really at all. So how things been going with you two? Hmm? Oh, we're okay. I mean, Things have been a little complicated. Really? How so? Um, well, it's just they're complicated. What else do you want me to say? So you guys aren't, you know? Oh, that's a little awkward. How so? I mean, I've always had my suspicions that you were hooking up with one of the girls in the vault. You know, just my theory on it. Suddenly you slip, you have problems. It's usually one of two things. Your dad was a pretty good officer, so that wasn't an issue. Your mom taught medical knowledge, so that wasn't an issue. She was well respected in her career. And then there's you and your family. I mean, it's hard to pin down, but something obviously must have happened. So that's your big theory. Are you telling me I'm wrong? Listen, Chloe, that I don't even know where to begin with that. You two are supposed to get together. Who the fuck cares? Chloe, this is the outside world. Look at me. Look at us. We're mutants now. Hell, I want to get back home too. Stop what they're doing. I know Marcy standing at the door, her cracking it open and hearing Izuku speak. Him talking about it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, hell, if some shit was gonna happen, it probably would have happened. They've been together for 3 months, traveling. I mean, hell, when they fucking ran into each other again, he found her in a cave. Seriously? Yeah, I managed to talk my way out of that one. I thought she would have killed me. Though, we found Vault 22 nearby. So, you were just walking around with her the whole time? I gave her my cloak. You know. Sure. So, you've already seen her like that. Shut up, Chloe. Jesus. I'm just saying. She talked a little highly of you. Currently, Marcy stepping out. Before talking about it. Okay, so she doesn't really think that these look good on her. Her, right now, stepping out with the shorts on. Currently, them a little shorter than she thought they'd actually be. And Deku, here's a turn staring at her. Before she could have her boots on, the dew come up nearly up to her knee, along with the vest that she does wear. Currently, her wings folded on the inside, and she does go to stand there, talking about it. Does this look right? You look good. Come on, just stop being so sensitive about it. Hell, apparently he's already seen you naked. What did you tell her? I just told her when we found each other. That sounds worse. Trust me, I get it. you know, I'm supposed to take you guys to see Papa Khan. So, if you guys want to hash this shit out right now, go right ahead. Though, do know we're having a party tonight. Plenty of chances to drink, meet some new people, make some new friends, see some new faces. I mean, hell, if you guys really just want to figure some shit out, I can give you guys some smooch. I think I'll pass on that. It's a chem, you dumbass. What is. I'll tell you a bit more later about it, Marcy. For right now, though, come on. We've got a lot to go over. Them going to leave, heading over to Red Rock Canyon. And some cons do stand there on guard. A rather large male with blonde hair, currently crouching down. It is staring out into the desert. And if he does get to see some people he does recognize in the distance, he does not pull his knife. Currently, him watching it closer and seeing that they're wearing con uniforms before he does go to ease a little bit. Though there is where they do come walking past, Chloe waving her hand to the cons who are there, before walking by and as good as to turn his head, currently seeing this massive man crouched down, staring out into the desert, a knife in hand, and eyes that look shallow, worn, and that it doesn't look too good. His face looks hollow, and that it's not something he likes to see. He's seen plenty of that around, and currently they do head to the house in Red Rock Canyon where Papa Khan does sit there. A few people with him that do sit there with the leadership. And over Chloe's a step inside this house, Deku and Marcy, they do come in as well. The man seeing Deku, who the moment he has a turn, he doesn't see those horns protruding from his head. And the fact that they don't shift or move, the fact that Izuku has eyes that look strange, and the fact that his hands have those strange nails on them. Yeah, this boy's the guy. No, this man is the guy they're looking for. So, obviously, Chloe wasn't just pulling his leg. And that he has a watch, watching Marcy begin to walk up as he has a stare at her. The strange ears on her head, along with similar things. A strangely shaped nose. Talking about it. Okay. Well, no. This is very interesting. Deku sniffing the air, where his eyes immediately turn and shift to a man on the right. Him staring him down before he's going to talk about it. Who's this guy? Hmm? Why do you ask? He smells like the Legion. Really now? Just from looking at him? Yeah, I've met a few of them before. So why is he here? We are friends with the Legion. Really? Yes, we are. Caesar has promised us great things, and we planned to get back at the NCR, especially after what they've done to our people. What did they do? Not surprised. You don't know about Bitter Springs, do you? NCR thought it was a soldier's camp. They thought they were going to kill our soldiers in the night. But no, they didn't. They launched an operation and they murdered families. They gunned them down where they ran. Women and children. Our people. We plan to make sure the NCR remember what they've done. And we won't stop until that debt is repaid in full in blood. That's why he's here. The Legion can promise us that. Deku turning to the man. Before he does, go sit there and think for a minute. Responding. He's very protective of his people. He can understand that. He has a family back where they're from. And this does catch Papa Khan's attention. Deku expressing. He has a sister. He's missed a birthday by now. They've been out here for a while and they don't know where their home is. The Khans took in their friend Chloe. If Kaiser can help them, maybe they can come to a bit of a deal. And the man to his right does his own jump up, expressing, he will see what he can do. He can send a message directly to the fort and Cottonwood Cove. See if they can meet with the Kaiser and see about the previous attempts to bring him there, to talk with him. Don't try and butter me up. You wanted to enslave me. Don't fucking try and do that. You can eat shit. Deku turning back. And the man, he does respect Deku a little bit. These people haven't earned his trust. He doesn't know them. And after their little reaction to knowing he existed, obviously the boy will be wary. Though he's desperate. Needs something. And he's also got those eyes. Eyes he's seen before. Be careful. Tiptoe around it? Or say it out loud? No, no. For right now, he'll keep that close to his chest. Young man, you and your friend, your companion? Chloe asked if you can stay here. I can let that happen, but we need to make you useful. Do you understand? I do. It's only fair. Good, good. There's a lot that you can do. We have a lot of people who like to buy from us. In fact, half the Mojave probably is in our supply line. Though with Vault 3 gone, Motor Owner dead, we've heard a bit of rumors. Would you be willing to head to Vault 3? Check it out? Investigate them? They're a little close to NCR territory. We need to know if that's actually true. Or if someone's just taken up the reins and is the new boss. They don't want to play games. And let me tell you this, kid. If there's a new fiend in charge, and they don't want to play games, they want to try and take what we have, you make sure to send a message. Loud and clear. Do you understand that? I could do that. Marcy, turning to Deku, before she could turn back to the man, she wanted to discuss that a little bit. Vault 3 could have some good information. Though Izuku, he does make sure the man cannot read his face. Marcy standing there before she has to express. They'll do it. But when does he want it done by? You can start in a few days. For right now, you need to heal. Go see Diane. She might have some stuff for you. Also, you might want to talk to your friend. Tonight we have a lot planned, and we can't really have hold-ups. Do you understand? You have to pay for everything out of your own pocket. That's how things work around here. No freebies. Izuku nodding his head, before going to step out, and Chloe, she has to ask, how exactly did it go? I think that went fine. Are you serious? What? You can't be serious. The guy probably wanted to fucking gut you. I don't think so. You don't think so? Could you fucking read his emotion? Could you read his mind? I mean, that guy is probably a fucking psychopath. You know that, right? I mean, his mind is clouded. He knows what happened. What do you mean? Chloe, the guy doesn't seem stable. His people were murdered. Marcy, I know someone here who saw what happened at Bitter Springs. Chance. He saw people he cared about die in front of him. The NCR, they're not perfect, but they're not the good guys either. What are you saying? I'm saying I know who I stand with. When I needed help, I know who helped me, okay? That's what I'm saying. Enough, you two. Deku, talking about it. The two both turning to him. I want to get some proper sleep. I took a lot of that Calmex last night. I need to take some more and just get me some Med-X. Do they have stim packs? Yeah, they have stim packs. I taught them how to make them. You're a godsend. Deku turning. Before Chloe does get to talk about it. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Before that, she'll take them to the tent. They'll have to share. Though, well, they also need to know where it is. Her guiding the two over, and they're to drop off their stuff. Chloe telling them a little bit about how the cons work. If you have issues with each other, sort that shit out on your own time. Also, one thing to know about the cons: you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Cons, they aren't exclusive whenever it does come to a lot of things. There have been instances of infighting within the cons, but usually that's more isolated. It's more small. You know, personal disagreements. I mean, Papa Khan does kind of guide them. He does a lot for them, and things are usually okay under his leadership. But with Bitter Springs, that's sort of a bit of a sore subject. Chloe bringing that part back up. Before they do arrive at the tent, her telling them about what exactly to do. She can get them unpacked and help them out here. Then she can take them over to see Diane, and Izuku can get his stim packs. Maybe even some chems to help him out with his little pain problem. Along with that, she can actually use her knowledge to see a few other things. Currently, Deku and Marcy unpacking in the tent and trying to talk. Them discussing possible things that they can do, while Chloe does outside and stare out into the canyon. Her just thinking about a few things. And we do have where Marcy does come stepping out. Currently, her with a pistol holstered on her side. As her rifle, it does lay on the ground inside the tent. Her stepping out and walking up. You know, it actually is kind of a nice view. I know. Been here for a while. It's different from what we expected. Yeah. It's nice to see you again, though. I know. Good to see that you're not feral. Yeah. Have you been okay, though? I've been coping fine. I mean, for a while, I thought I might have been it. After what happened, I didn't know. I mean, I had a gut feeling, but it's good to see that that was wrong. Though I probably can't trust my gut either, if that's the case. I know. Oh, her holding up the weapon, talking about it. She found her pistol. That old thing. You can keep it. If I found it whenever I went back, then I would have gotten it. Her pulling out her own 9mm pistol, talking about it. This little thing here, though, it can be a bit of a help. It's not too shabby, but it definitely does still need a little bit of work. Right. So, how have things been here for you? Okay, Marcy, I get the medical mind games, but you don't have to play that with me. How have things been with you? I know you'd want to catch up, but we can do that later at the party. What about you and Izuku? What about us? Come on, spill. Spill what? You guys have been together for a few months out there, right? I mean, yeah, we have. So, how have things been going? Oh, that. Come on. You were sent to the surface world with your husband? Okay. He is not my husband. First off, we're not even married. Second off, we haven't even. I'm waiting. Haven't even what? Oh, shut up. Her, somewhat, smacking her friend in the arm. Before talking about it, it's complicated. How complicated? I mean, we're talking about Izuku, right? Yeah, we are. Rumors don't help either. Yeah, they they certainly didn't. This is nice. It is, isn't it? No, I mean this. You and me talking again. I haven't had anyone really talk to like this in a while. It's good. Though, seriously though, you've got a look on your face. You're concerned about him. I am. I feel like I keep putting him in a bit of trouble. I mean, he's literally taken bullets for me. Has he now? Isn't that nice? No, we almost got caught by the Enclave. He covered my ass. I guess quite literally? Really? Yeah, we were out at Good Springs. We saw them, but we don't know if they saw us. They saw him for sure, but he took a few rounds to the back and that was that. They left. Then with the Death Claw, I, I don't know. Last time we saw one, we ran. Didn't we? We did see one. You're right about that. We did run, though outrunning it was definitely a little difficult. Though it was ambitious. I think it might have been hungry. Good for us then. I know. But still, you're avoiding it. Using subterfuge, you know, changing the conversation. I'm being serious about that. I mean, how have things been going with him? Just, can you drop it? No, I won't. We've talked about this before. Okay, fine. Deku walking out. For the both of them, do to turn and see him. Currently, Deku asking about this Diane chick who has medical supplies. And Chloe doesn't understand. Her jumping up over her tail does somewhat begin to rattle. Before talking about it. Okay. She'll take them to the lab. Though, just try not to spook anybody there. Also, mind the smell. All three of them going to leave, heading down to the lab where they do go to find Diane. Currently, them walking to a small little canyon with a few bombed out metal trailers. Currently, seeing a woman who does just won't sit there. Her turning, seeing Chloe, bringing one of her hands up and talking about it, asking exactly if their little delivery girl needs any help with something. Does she need a fix or does she need an order? Because she can arrange a few things. No, Diane. I finally found my friends. You know. Oh, so this is Marcy and Izuku? I mean, they're definitely a little stranger than I expected. Though if they're your friends, I guess I should have expected extras. Them staring at Deku and Marcy before Jack does go express. So are they buying or are they looking for a job? what exactly is happening here? Because he's kind of trying to figure that out. You got medical supplies? I mean, it's medicinal, but what are you looking for? A few things. What do you got? Eh, well, I mean, we got a lot. Currently, him gonna pull out a bag from under the chair before he's like opening it up, talking about it, listing off the chems they do have currently, before even expressing about the fresh batch they whipped up. So if they do want, then no. It's first come, first serve. If they buy all of it, then no one else gets it. And Deku does understand. Him looking at the selection before he's to grab some medics. Him ordering 2 medics, some calmex, some fixer, and even asking a bit about the stimbacks, since if they're old, they'll work. But he'd rather buy a fresh new one, especially because that one might be more effective. I mean, it won't be past its due date by like 2 centuries. Now, the man doesn't understand. Just in case, and even talking about it, turning as Marcy, she currently is staring down into the bag, her eyes fixated on one chem in particular. Before Deku does get a turn, him asking her, bringing his hand up, if she does want something, currently stabbing this into his shoulder. Before the area, it does begin the rapid regrowth of cells. And Deku does it feel his shoulder stop, burning, and the feeling of bleeding before he's to bring his hand up. Currently, him sitting there as he does inject himself with some of the medics, talking about it. Currently, him pulling out the syringe and going to look around. Before Jack does bring it up, talking about it. They'll take that if he doesn't mind. They'll get everything sorted out with it before they redistribute. Izuku, not too concerned. Before he has a turn, and Marcy, she's going to hold up some medics, along with talking about the mentats she does currently have. And Jack does a somewhat whistle, talking about how those are definitely not for the faint of heart. Yeah, I know. But are they good? Oh, those are party time. You know, fitting for tonight. Though, you want my recommendation? Sure. Okay. In an hour, take some of those, and if you can, take some, well, I guess psycho. Then after that, you want to drink a little bit and then take some Med-X. Then what you want to do is take some jet or even jet fuel, if you got it. Oh, okay. Chloe's stepping in, talking about it. He might not want to recommend that little challenge. I mean, she doesn't know their experience with chems, but that's a little too ambitious. Sorry. You're right. Okay, just take the mentats and be a little careful. If you want, you can mix them with alcohol, but that's on you. I'm not liable. Okay. But jet fuel, what is that? You really are vault dwellers. It's a nifty little chem. Listen, I've heard many different people talk about the trips. I've been on it once, just to let customers know. You might see some things. Go on a bit of a vision quest. The whole jazz. Especially if you're exactly like how I think Chloe is. What's the right word? Deductive. Thank you, Diane. Izuku talking about it. They might be fine. Him turning. Talking about how He's gonna go try that. He's gonna go and try to get some sleep, especially since he does feel kind of bad. All right, later. Chloe talking about it. Currently, her bringing her hand down and going to grab something before expressing. Okay, so how much for the medical salve? Mm. Oh, that concoction? Oh, we just made a few of that this morning, along with some of the smooch, the other shit. It might be pretty popular tonight. We've been a little swamped. Okay, so how much for it? Yeah, about 50 or so caps. It's pretty popular, but tonight it's a little special. Got it. Her turning. Talking about it. Okay, so maybe it's a good idea for her to keep the medical salve on her. Hmm? Really? Yeah. Maybe later you can give some of it to Hazuko. I mean, you remember what I told you? Rub it on externals, eat it for internals? Right, right. Okay, I'll just see you later. Her turning. Before she's a head off, and Marcy does do the same. Currently heading back to the tent, as Deku, he does go to lay down. Currently him on his side, as he does feel his body recovering from the extensive injuries he had just 24 hours ago, if not less than that. And he does feel a lot better. The Stimpaks are already working their magic. Yeah, no, no. They're working their complex bullshit. And that Izuku is highly thankful for. To his tent, where he could get some proper rest and try to think about what to do. This morning he had a belly full of meat. He also had a stim pack to help heal his wounds, and that it definitely does somewhat help, along with the fact that he was very tired. Getting some proper sleep, it is well required. And by the time Izuku woke up, he was already hearing people start the party. They were excited. They were happy. They could hear the drums, and they were building a very large fire. And this, Deku, he heard quite plainly. Currently, him getting out of his tent and going to see a few things. Right on him turning and seeing two people fighting in the training area. Before he does go to look around, seeing multiple people cheering on and drinking. Before he also does a turn and see the giant fire they are building. Some people tossing wood inside. And this does kind of alarm him. Currently, Deku staring at the flames. Before he does go to turn and see two people talking. Him stepping down and someone stretching on his way. Before he does a walk up and Chloe does get a turn. Seeing him, we're gonna reach down into her pocket and pull out one of the, well, whiskey bottles she does currently have. Talking about it. Well, it's good to see he's awake. How does he feel? Honestly, a lot better. You don't understand. Those stem packs, they definitely take it out of you. It feels weird. I mean, God, my brain's all fuzzy. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I actually feel like I got some proper sleep. That's good, that's good. Though, you were gonna miss the party. Thought I'd just send Marcy here to wake you up. Right. What did I miss? Not much. Just people fighting. And why are they fighting? Yeah, if they have problems with each other, they tend to do this sometimes. I mean, hey, who really does care? It's just a part of who we are. The cons? No. People. I mean, shit. After all the type of shit we do and deal with, I'm not surprised. Look, come on. Her holding up a half empty bottle before she's like give a toast to the vault dwellers, talking about their objective and what they do have to do, expressing, here's to finding home. And all of them do clink their glasses before chugging down the rest of their bottles. Currently somebody staring around, looking around, and they do look at the area as seeing how everything is. I mean, they're okay. They're fine. They're all right. They just need some more medics, jet, and something to keep them steady and okay. They'll be fine after that. This being the thoughts that do go through James's head. Him turning and hearing the beats of those drums. But every time he does it hear them back and forth going over. Thumb, thumb, thumb. All he does hear is the repeating sounds of gunshots. All he does get to hear is the screams. Turning his head and staring at the bonfire. This being something clearly he can remember. He remembers the grenades, the ambush, the attack at Bitter Springs. And Chance, he doesn't like it. It doesn't seem right. Why exactly does he get to live? Why did he survive the goddamn massacre that occurred at that camp? NCR soldiers came in. The NCR ambushed them while they were having people escape. They gunned tons of people down. He fought. He rushed some people with his knife. He wasn't hurt. He got out. And he's alive. Why is that fair? And this, it does go through his mind. The guilt of surviving that attack when so many others, they didn't. And Izuku, he does get a turn. Currently, the hours begin to blend together. And Chance, he had a bit of a plan. He wanted to go down. Make sure that this night is a night to remember. And that the cons, they know he was a fighter. They knew a lot about him. He walked into that ring to battle. He wanted people to fight him. Challenge them on their own. I mean, hell, come on. Bring it at him. And the man, he began to enjoy the next 3 hours where people, they walked into that ring, saw if they can test their mettle against him, see how things would go. Meanwhile, Deku, Chloe, and Marcy, they were drinking. They were sharing their stories with some cons, and even heard some other stories about the wasteland. Hours began to blend together, and there currently was Izuku, who sat there with some whiskey in his hand, thinking about what to do. Tonight has been a little relaxing, a little less chaos. There's some medics in his system, and a lot more whiskey in his system. He's got Chloe and Marcy with him. The only thing that could be better is if John was here. if John was here to enjoy this, it would mean a lot more. Two of them are gone while one of them's in a cage. The other three are free. They know what the surface is like. They know to be careful, not to trust a lot of people, not to do weird things or, well, weird shit is kind of their bread and butter. So he might just be a little wrong on that last part. Him sitting there, watching the battle that is currently taking place, as Chance just throws someone to the ground before looking around. Him looking back down and bringing his hands down. Currently making sure that the person won't get back up. Meanwhile, he has a stand, seeing many cons begin to cheer for him. As Marcy, she does go to stand there, her holding up her own bottle of whiskey, for trying to talk to Deku. Bring your hand up, expressing, okay, Chloe, she's gonna make sure to time this, and keep track of exactly who wins this. Deku turning back, and the two do both hold their own containers full of whiskey. Before Deku, he does go to bring his up and says Marcy. Chloe going to start. As the two, they do try to have a race. This little competition to see who can chug more faster, and which one might choke on the whiskey. And currently there is Chance, who doesn't see the two. Him going to walk over and begin to bring his hand up, before he is to throw something and it is a smash of the air. Currently, Deku and Marcy sitting there, as Deku does hear a sound, turning as Marcy does get half her bottle of whiskey break. Her letting go of it before turning, and the man, he does get to hop over the barrier, walking over. Him bringing his hand up and shoving her to the ground, before turning. Deku standing there, as the man just smacked the bottle out of Deku's hand, before stepping forwards. And Deku, he does just stare this man down, before he does turn and look at Marcy. Him looking away his chances of bringing himself forwards. Him pressing Deku, without saying a word. And Izuku does a turn back to Chance. Him bringing his hand up and shoving him, before he does go to move back forwards and throw a fist out. Deku dodging the attack for bringing his hand up, currently smashing Chance across the face as the man hears a fall towards the ground. Deku turning back to Marcy and asking if she's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, what the fuck is his deal? Her climbing to her feet, before she does look a little stumbly, talking about it. Turning to the man. What does he want? What is his problem? As I turn, staring Deku down, before talking about how they're freaks, not supposed to be here. Come on. Fight him. Show him they belong to the cons. And Deku, he does stare at that. Before the man does it look at Marcy, her recoiling, hearing that word. Before he just won't press it. The bitch and the mutant. They don't belong here. Come on. He wants to see exactly what they can do. And Deku does a step forwards, telling him to shut up. He doesn't know anything about them. Come on. You gonna fight? Or do you want your bitch to do it for you? Deku annoyed. Before Marcy does his step forwards and Chloe does try to stop this. Her bring her hands up and telling Chance to just not try this. This is a pretty bad idea. Izuku does not bring his hand up. Chloe, right now, falling silent as Deku does a step forwards, telling the man, apologize. Apologize. I don't know you, but Chloe does. Now I suggest you give your apologies before I rip your face off and make sure everyone who sees you doesn't recognize you. These are your people, not mine, so that will take a lot of work for me to do. Deku pressing the man, and while Chance does feel intimidated, he doesn't care anymore. He stopped caring after Bitter Springs. All he wants is a distraction. And the person in front of him right now may just be exactly what the doctor, or, well, the chem maker, has ordered. Now, Deku and Chance do both stand there in the ring, people well aware as to what happened, some seeing it and others cheering for it. And there currently is Papa Khan, who, when this was brought to his attention, he wanted to watch this battle personally, see what might happen, see what they might do, and watch as his man does take on this vault dweller, this mutant. James is a powerful person. He knows his reputation. He's a good con. But after what happened, he's not the same anymore. And that he wants to see for himself. What will Izuku do in that ring? And the two both stand there. Deku right now with his hands balled in the fist. As Chance, he does hold his own hands up. The two both ready to brawl, ready to fight. And Chance, he has come rushing in. Right now him bringing his hands up and going to throw them out. Deku dodging one before Chance to swing his arm around. Him smashing Deku in the face for bringing his hand back, throwing it forwards and going to punch. Deku bringing his hand up and going to take the attack in his left arm, bringing his hand up and smashing it forwards into his chest. For Chance, he does go sliding a little bit. Him rushing back forwards and going to bring his hand up. Currently, him going to step forwards. Him getting ready. And Izuku, he doesn't move forwards as well. Chance bring his hand over his head and clocking Deku across the face. For Deku does a bring his left arm up and smashing the man across the face as well. Chance moving down towards the ground. As Deku does a move forwards and the man does a do one thing. Currently him grabbing a handful of sand as Deku, he does go to bend down. Currently him going to try and grab Chance by his collar as he has a turn, throwing this at Izuku for doing one thing. Him reaching down and grabbing his knife. For Chloe, does this one scream. Deku going to bring his hand up as Chance to throw the knife down, slashing the Deku's arm. And Izuku, he has a sharp pain. Him blinking away the sand and staring at Chance, before looking at the knife that is impaled in his forearm. And Izuku, he does go to begin to bring his hand up. Currently, him pressing his hand further up along the knife, before he has to throw his arm down and headbutt Chance. Chance pulling this knife out of Izuku, he does go to grunt. And Marcy does get to bring her hand up, her yelling for Izuku to kick his ass. And Chloe does a turn, her tail rattling as she's to tell Marcy, "This isn't good." "Oh, what do you mean? He started the fight." "Yeah, but he's not supposed to use a weapon." "Okay, that's bad." Chance, right now, changing his grip on the blade, which is fresh with Deku's blood. And Izuku does gonna bring up both those hands. Currently, him changing his stance as his left arm is forward. His right arm is back. And the man, he does look at Deku. Before Deku does go moving in. Him moving forwards as Chance does bring his hand up. Him throwing out the blade, trying to stab Deku. Him shifting his body weight on his right or bringing his hand up, smash him across the jaw as he has to throw at his leg. Him hitting Chance on the side before he has a rush forwards, feeling the sand give way under his foot, rushing forwards and smashing into him, tackling the man to the ground as Deku does not bring his hand up, smashing him down in the side multiple times, before, after a few chances to bring his hand up, him going to smash Deku in the side before trying to switch his grip. Him going to reach for Deku and try to use his own body weight to get more power. And Izuku, he's surprised him from the man. He does a roll Deku to his back. Right on him on top, bringing his hands up and smashing them down. Deku bring up his right and left arm for feeling the force hit him. And this does hurt quite a bit, especially with the hole in Deku's left arm. Chance going to bring his hand back and smash into his guard before he does go to beat down on Izuku. Deku feeling his left arm give a little give before he has to do one thing. Him bucking his hips up and going to bring Chance closer in. Him flying a little forward to Izuku just to bring his left arm up. Right now him going to try and reach out for Chance as his right hand does smash Chucky up into some of his ribs as hard as humanly possible for Izuku. And Chance, he doesn't feel his ribs break. Right now him going to fly down to the ground. For Izuku, he does go try and catch his breath, turning and going to roll over. Getting back up as the man, he does lay there. Currently him turning his head and seeing his knife. Before he does gonna reach out for Izuku, he does begin to get to his feet. The man looking up and seeing him. Before Deku, he does bring his hands up, letting him get to his feet. Currently him holding the blade and rushing forwards. For Deku does stand there. Chance rushing in and stabbing Deku in the gut. For Deku does bring his own hands up. Currently him slashing his claws into Chance's chest. The man bring his knife out and stabbing into Deku's gut again. For Deku does bring his hands down and try and grab Chance by the forearms. The man trying to fight against Izuku. And Deku is quite alarmed. Feeling Chance pull the knife out slowly and then try to insert it more. Try to insert it deeper and deeper inside his organ. And this, it hurts. Deku feels a shooting pain, the adrenaline. And the man, he just stared Deku down. Nothing but sadness on his face. Nothing but just the rush, the rage. And that, Deku, he has to do one thing. He does go to lean forwards and sink his teeth directly into Chance's shoulder. Him going to bury them deeper and deeper. Before he's to rip out a chunk, and the man, he does back away. Currently, him holding the knife before he does go switch it over to his left hand. Currently, him bringing it up before he does go somewhat show off. It's covered in blood. And Izuku does stand there. Currently, him spitting a piece of meat out of his mouth before licking his lips. And that taste of blood, it does help awaken something primal in Izuku. Something that shouldn't be there. And he does feel his pain in his gut. He feels the adrenaline pumping through his veins, along with the alcohol and chems he's taken. Hell, he can hardly even fucking feel it. And right now, he wants more. More than just his own pound of flesh. Him being the one who has a rush Chance. And the man, he has to move forwards. Currently, him throwing out the knife and stabbing Deku in the bicep. Currently, him going to back up his Deku to throw out his claws. Him trying to slash the man in the throat and take him out. Backing away and bring the knife up. Him going to move forwards and stab into Deku. And people are going to watch Deku be impaled on the blade, who's to bring his hands down and smash his claws down to Chance's shoulders, before leaning forwards and smashing his mouth directly onto the man's neck. Him biting in the side before he has to tear apart the part of his neck connected to the side of his shoulder. And Chance, he does begin to back away. The knife's still on Deku, before he does feel his grip weakening, currently him falling to the ground and beginning to feel pain. Deku moving in, bringing his hands out and smashing into the ground, bringing his hands back as he has a smash Chance across the face. People watching these two go at it primarily. Right now, Deku bringing his hands over his head as Chance does a bring his hand up and smash the knife further into Deku. Him going to bring his hands down, smashing them down to Chance, smashing him down in the torso and knocking the wind out of him. Chance bringing his hand up and grabbing the knife, trying to rip it down and do what he can. His strength is beginning to leave him, and Izuku here to watch Chance pull the knife out before he does go his own recoil, feeling the pain shooting through his torso. And Chance does go do one thing. While Deku is trying to huff and puff while blood is pouring through his mouth, he does go to bring the knife back up. Deku bring his hands down and grabbing Chance by the wrist. The knife moving forward to Izuku, he does go do one thing. He does go to break one of Chance's wrists by twisting, currently him holding on to Chance's arms, for bring the knife slowly down to him, and the man is smiling the whole time, before he does finally lose more and more of that strength. Izuku stabbing the knife down directly into his chest, and the man, he hears it whisper something. Izuku hearing it, as right now he does get a turn. Him smashing down onto the ground. Him wheezing with a breath, as there is a hole in one of his lungs. And it is trying to repair itself. Currently, Marcy and Chloe coming to run up, along with some cons trying to check in on Chance. Though the man, after what they can tell, he's dead. He pulled the knife and started getting more aggressive. This isn't good. There is Izuku. Chloe bringing up a stim pack and smashing it directly down into Izuku's chest. His wheezing beginning to stop after a few seconds, though they do have to help him back to his feet and take him back to the tent. Papa Khan watching these three leave. Where does it look back down to the man Deku just killed? The one who started this brawl. And it does mean quite a bit. Currently, Chloe getting Deku back to the tent for she has to tell Marcy what to do. Keep him here and watch him. She's got to handle all of this. Talk to Papa Khan, check on Chance, make sure no one retaliates. It's gonna... the fallout from this could be bad. Her turning and going to leave. The flap, somewhat, still moving while Deku does lay there. Marcy turning and going to ask if he's alright. I'm fine. Fine. Just hurts. I'm sure it does. He stabbed you. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. Just... did I get him? Yeah, you did. Though, thanks for that. So I'm going to sit up. I should be... Okay. No, lay down, lay down. Her turning. Before going to search through one of her bags and try to find anything that can help Izuku. Currently, her bringing up another stim pack for injecting it and going to grab what she believes to be the healing salve. Her going to open the container up and get a whiff of it before she is going to bring her hand down and go to dip her finger inside. Her bring it up to Izuku's mouth and telling him, "Take some of this. It'll help. It'll taste bad, but it should be okay. And Izuku, he does gotta do so. Right now, Marcy talking about it. He certainly went through quite the shit, didn't he? You, you alright? I'm fine. You just can't win, can you? Yeah, maybe. Though, what about you? I didn't mean physically. I'm fine. We're not monsters, Marcy. I know. We're mutants. We're still people. Remember that. Marcy looking down. It might be the chems she's taking. It might be her adrenaline, or the alcohol she's consumed. But Deku, he's got the right idea. Him talking about how she's not a monster. Currently, him sitting up and telling her, things are going to be okay. They'll find Vault 16. They'll find home. They'll get home. They'll figure this out. And she has to do one thing. Currently, her bring her hands up and pulling Deku to a hug. Before she does is start crying. And Izuku, he can understand. He wants to go home too. I mean, a year ago, more than a year ago, if you told him about what was happening now, he'd call you crazy. Mutants, strange creatures. If you tried to tell him what a fucking death club was, he'd say that you were on the shine. Definitely on something at the very least. And that, it does somewhat hurt him. Currently, Chloe walking up for hearing a few things. Hearing some sobs as she was able to at least talk to some people. Chance was unstable already. He initiated that fight, and plenty of people talked about the man trying to antagonize Izuku, who was also the one who pulled the knife first. Deku might have had knives attached to his hands, but he was using fist before the man drew blood first. And that was what changed the battle. Deku started using lethal force, especially when this man was trying to kill him. And that, it might suck, but if there's one thing that he got, was closure. He had plenty of demons haunting him. But now I can rest. And Chloe, when she has to walk back up to the camp site, she has to see the tent. Currently, her leaving the knife outside as she's going to walk away. Since she can hear the two talking, Marcy pulling back and going to lean forwards. Before she has to kiss Izuku. And Deku, he has to bring his hands up. Currently, him pulling her in a little close. The two going to sit there for a minute. Before Deku does the song fall backwards back onto his cot. And Marcy does the song sit there with him. The two trying to just enjoy the rest of the night. There's a lot that they need to talk about. A lot of baggage they've got to sort through and talk through. And Izuku and her, they're both going to pass out shortly afterwards. Deku lost a lot of blood. And Marcy, yeah, saying her mind isn't on straight isn't exactly wrong. And there's the next morning, where Deku, he does begin to feel hot. He feels the heat. And he does get to lay there. Before he does begin to somewhat move around and feel weight on his chest, along with the pain still searing through his wounds. His eyes opening as Marcy does lay there, her holding on to him as he does sit there. And Deku, he doesn't care. Right now, he can make an assumption about last night. He can remember bits of it, but caring about it, it doesn't matter. Him going to climb out of bed before he has to open the tent flap, finding a note from Chloe along with a knife on the ground. Him picking it up and going to read it. It talking about a few things that happened. As Mercy does begin to roll over, her shifting around while still feeling a little cold. Currently, Izuku going to sit outside, wanting to think about a few things. Him bringing up his Pip-Boy and beginning to record his audio log once more. However, he does going to put this knife firmly on his side. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. And I'll catch you guys in the next part. And for those of you who don't know who Chance is, I suggest you look into it. You might have run into some things about him before.